Hello and welcome to our report card for the Eternity. If you haven't seen one of these before, basically what I do is go back and revisit a ball that's been out for a few months to check in, see how popular it's been, see if I got it right in the review, and report on how much we've used it and what it's best at. Also, since it is a report card, I will actually be giving out grades, or a rating rather, using the new Kool-Aid meter. The staffers always robe up and pass the cups out for every new release, but are they still drinking it a few months down the road? Before we get started, big shout out and thanks as always to Royal Crest Lanes. They're a big part of bringing these videos to you. All it takes is a text and we have everything we need. Also, my code Rosdahl10 will get you 10% off your order at checkout at CoolWick, and if you check the description, you'll find a bunch of helpful links and information, including our personal specs, and a link to buy the Eternity at Mart. I do receive a 5% commission on all sales through the link. The Eternity was designed to be an altered reality replacement, but tuned up a little to retain the pros and remove or mitigate the cons, and also just straight up replace the volatility torque without necessarily saying as much. The cover is exactly the same as both in S84 Response Pearl, while the core is the new Epoch core, taking inspiration from the original brake core. The RG is 249, the differential is 050, and the intermediate diff or PSA strength is 014, which was reduced versus the brake core to help prevent it from burning too much energy too quickly or locking up / going forward, which stronger asymmetric cores are prone to doing, the kind of hook stop effect. This makes it a little weaker also than the core from the Altered, and if the Altered had an Achilles heel, it was that it could lock up or go forward. To circle back around to the V torque, the Epoch core is a slightly different shape but has exactly the same numbers, so several different things going on here. Eternity ends up being a nearly perfect first ball option for most league bowlers. It's not reality, gem, or DNA strong and early, but it's not absolute, clean, and flippy. While it is strong, it's incredibly balanced. You can feel the strength, it still hooks plenty, but it's clean and smooth enough that it's controllable and very throwable. It doesn't rev up super quickly, which I think greatly helps it get down the lane easier so you're not fighting it for length. It's strong and stable, but you can see it doesn't really start winding up until further down the lane. The cover is strong enough that it helps with the stability, but clean enough to keep it from digging in early. You can see that it does have some torque down lane because it kind of casually and evenly spins all the way down the lane, but then decidedly transitions on the back end. This is a really good illustration of what torque is and looks like. The asymmetry somewhat forces the ball to pull up and move down lane, which is the point. If symmetrics are a little too slow or lazy, you'd move to an asym. It's kind of like putting a turbo on an engine. For Angel, it's a 10. Ball reaction doesn't get better than this for her. Literally half of her top 10 all-time series now have been shot with the Eternity just since drilling it. It absolutely perfectly fits her and lets her do a number of different things. If there's more oil, she can play straighter with it because of how blendy it is, but the torque lets her move left too. I think you can see that it gets back up the hill if she gets it out and holds if she gets it in. True to the design intent, it doesn't go forward, it doesn't lock up or straighten out or hook stop. The Kool-Aid can't be mixed fast enough for her on this one. It's almost unrealistically good for her. For me, it's complicated. I almost don't want to rate it because it's not remotely good for me, but I'm in a significant minority there. Asyms and I generally don't get along to begin with, and I didn't like the altered reality, so when I go ahead and still say I'd give it a 3 personally just for transparency, I think you know that you can just throw my opinion out the window because it's obviously incorrect. It is a little forward for me. A part of that is the layout. My asym layout is intentionally a slightly forward layout to help slow down the core. I get plenty of torque out of symmetric cores, so I really don't need or want any extra boom boom. It's strong and dynamic enough for me that I have to kind of dump / fling it to get it down the lane, but also have to get around it to get it to pick up and continue, and I couldn't do both of those effectively at the same time when I filmed this. I can do it now, but I still had trouble with the Absolute, and it's a straight up weaker Eternity. I'm going to blame this on a poor matchup and not on the ball because I'm the one single person I've seen or heard from that doesn't rave about this thing. Most people are having Angel's experience, but I think someone poked a hole in the bottom of my cup. Check out the description for a link to Bowler's Mart to get one of these ordered or find any of your other bowling needs. Remember to use my code Rosdahl10 for 10% off at checkout at CoolWick.com. Be sure to check out my memberships for plenty of early access and members-only content. Thanks to my outstanding members, thank you for watching, and may the strikes be with you.